Yes, everybody, good night, welcome to Focus with Fido, our first official podcast. And we're ready to dive deep with stories that matter, real conversations, and bold perspective. I'm your host, Fidrick Benjamin, and today we are tackling a powerful journey of resilience, healing, and transformation. Our guest has been through unimaginable pain, but before she could inspire others, she first had to find the strength to heal, rebuild, and reclaim her own power. This is more than just a conversation, in my opinion. It's a movement towards healing, empowerment, and breaking the silence. So sit back, open your mind, and get ready for a conversation that could change lives. Let's focus. So I'm just going to add her to the stage, and she will just give her introduction. Good night, good night. Thank you so much.
Good night, good night, good night. Hi everyone, my name is Amber, Amber Big, but some of you know me as Janae or Amber Janae, all you know already. Um, I just wanted to come on and just have a little heart to heart with you guys. I saw all your messages. I just want to thank everyone that sent their support, that was there, that understood, that took heed of the message. I thank you guys so much, and we on to bigger and better things and building better for our children. As we know, I'm a nail tech and no, a lash tech as well. So you guys know already, Ambi's Nails for the win. Don't forget to book your appointments for the carnival season, and also don't forget to patronize my online store, Ambi's Closet, which is fairly new right now. I thank you guys for the support over the past year. We've been doing great, and I continue to just be thankful. Everyone, we're just going to go into conversation right now. I will talk more
Yeah.
about business probably later down, but let us get into the main topic, please. I cannot wait. I cannot wait, trust me.
All right, cool. I'm just gonna give Kairos Media, just go ahead and just your quick introduction to yourself there.
Yes.
Hi, good night, good afternoon, whichever part of the world you're in. It's your boy Yo Cardos on Cardos Media, And I am grateful to be a guest on Fido's Focus with Fido today.
Yeah,
Also, Miss Amber Janae.
what's
I'm
your name?
grateful to meeting you over the World Wide Web once again.
Thank
So
you. Thank you.
it's a pleasure to be here. You could follow me on Cardos Media on Ricardo St. Amy. That's where I'm at. So I'm glad to be here, Fido. Thank you for
Yeah,
inviting
man.
me. Thank you for
Thank you, and
inviting
thank
me.
you so much for being available.
Yeah, man.
Guys, I just really wanted us, a little backdrop on the guest we have. Our main guest is Amber Janae. I saw her video. She had a very passionate video where she was targeting a very sensitive topic persons don't like to talk about, and I was shocked myself to understand that she went through that kind of a traumatic experience. So I want her. I don't want to space. I don't know. I don't want to give no piece of it. She has to give everything tonight. So I'm gonna go right there into the first question we have. Where so she will start telling us her story from the beginning to the end. And the first question we have. Go ahead, Cardo. Go ahead.
What I wanted to do, on your heading on Facebook, put
Mm-hmm.
at Janae, so it will pop up, so all her followers will come up on it as well.
On it. All right. Let
Yeah.
me see. Let me just get into it
Just change
right
your heading
there.
in your Facebook itself at her name, so her followers and stuff. And you could put
Okay.
me as well too. So no worries.
I will do so. I gotta do so right now. I gonna do right so right now.
So where
At
you from?
followers.
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm originally from Kenfield, West Side. I grew up there, and I grew up with two other siblings, very troublesome siblings. I moved around a lot. I lived in Antigua once upon a time when I was a little girl, but then I came back home, obviously, and since then I haven't really lived in other places unless my mom was there. A lot of places I don't really remember because I was so young,
Mm-hmm.
but home base home is Kenfield. Kenfield, that is, yeah.
When I first saw you on the internet, it
Uh-huh.
was do nothing.
Yes.
You broke you broke the internet with that do nothing thing. That was a powerful message. I thought that was.
Yes, yes.
'Cause I was a very strong advocate for that do nothing thing.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's when I saw you. I followed you. I shared your stuff because the message was a powerful message for us to wake up in our minds. But still, yet, Fido, the floor is yours. I'm just a guest
This
tonight.
no, but you know you roll already. You know you roll already. Okay then. Well, we're gonna start with the first question to get you ready engaged with the viewers. I'm very interested. So can you share a little bit about your childhood and what life was like growing up for you?
Okay. When it comes to my childhood, it was very traumatic. There was a lot of anger around me because my parents, they were married for 13 years, together for 15, and
Mm.
their marriage was very toxic.
Okay.
So a lot of the times they were more involved in the fights in their relationship. So me and my siblings, although we got some form of love, when they paid
Mm-hmm.
attention to us, they paid great attention, but we were still starved, especially me, because I was always the child that was quiet. I was always by myself. I didn't really used to interact with people, but I went through a lot of abuse. So that is why I was so into my.
Reserved.
I wasn't so forward with people
Okay.
because as a child, from the age of 2, which is when I lived with an auntie in Antigua, her son used to abuse me.
Oh
And then
wow.
she found out, instead she did something about it. She just sent me back home to my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom noticed that I would be in a lot of pain, have discomfort. And when she brought me to the hospital, they confirmed that, I don't know if I can say it,
Go
that
ahead.
I had been abused and
Mm-hmm.
it was in both areas that I was penetrated.
Oh
Okay.
my.
So
All right.
that was my mom. My mom, like, she went through a lot. She was a bit suicidal as well.
Wow.
And for years, there were other family members, male family members that would come around, and certain people in the neighborhood that would come around. And my mother wasn't aware, and I was scared because after, like, my worst situation, like my the most heinous form of, well, to me, the one that stuck with me the most was as a child, a young child. I was like about 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
My mom had have a brother. He's dead now, praise the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And he came from America claiming that there was some money that my grandfather had left for my mom, and it was to renovate the house. He came
Yeah.
down. My father just wasn't for it. My father was like, "No, I don't like your family. I don't like your
Mm-hmm.
siblings. They don't like me. I don't trust them." And since before he came down, like from since I was young growing up, they would always fight over me. But then when I would be aware of the conversation, they would just go quiet and not really tell me why they were fighting over me. So when he
Wow.
came down, he came with a new bed, gave my brother a new bed, came bearing gifts, and he
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
was staying in the house. So my mother took the opportunity to travel to Tortola for a job offer that she got, and she left her brother, his son, and my dad and us in the house. Mind you,
Yeah.
it's a two-bedroom home.
Yeah.
So we were sharing the room with my uncle and his son. They were in our room because we all three of us shared one room, and my dad would use their marital room. All I know is as soon as my mother leave, couple days later, police come, took my dad, go with him.
Hmm.
And everything just went dark from there. He would beat me. He just started beating on me and my siblings, beating on us to lie and say that my father was sexually abusing us.
Mm-hmm.
His whole plan the whole time was to take the house because my grandfather left the house for my mom, and his whole plan was to forge my mom's signature on some documents and take the house from her and put us out.
Wow.
So the
Oh wow.
police took my father away, and until they finished the investigation, he had to stay like 200 feet away from me,
Restraining order. Yeah.
anywhere near me at all. Now I remember before my mom left, I really cried. I was very sad. I did not want her to go. I really did not want her to go because to me she was my stronghold. She always
Mm-hmm.
protected me. So anytime she left, I used to feel so afraid. And I never liked her brother. Never did. So it's like his son used to go out and party and come back home drunk, and I really didn't like it. And every now and then I would wake up and he's standing over my bed. Good morning, drunk, smelling like alcohol, and I always used to be afraid.
Hmm.
Um, it's like the beatings continued for a while, and we had no way of getting in contact with my mom. I was only 6 years at the time.
At the
My
time,
younger
yeah.
sister was about 3 or 4, and my brother, he was, I think, 8. Yes, he was about 8 years old at the time. And a lot of the times he would leave us at home alone. He wasn't working or anything. He was just lounging around. After a little while, lights go off, water go off because he's not paying any bills.
Mm-hmm.
So a certain time we're living in the house, no bills are being paid. We don't have no light, no water, so we have to go river and bathe or in the sea. And he hid us away from everybody in the community. Like we would only pass out the back door and cross the wagon because there's a wagon at the back of the house. Cross the wagon and go on the other road and take the journey to go where we're going. When we would go to the beach, Donkey Beach, he would make us pass the normal way in front by Clay Harbor. He would find the shortcut and make us pass through this
Pass
plant,
the shortcut.
breaking
Okay,
stones or something. Yeah, it was a lot. He put us through a lot. And it's like he would constantly beat me because welfare wanted me to basically tell the story. And I was like, no, my father didn't do anything to me. But they would not believe me because they're checking like my
yeah.
father rough and probably my father scare me. Anyways, he kept it like that. We couldn't use the cutleries. He only fed us in butter bowls. It's like he treated us like animals. My sister
Hmm.
here started to make locks because there is nobody there to comb our
To
hair.
comb the hair, yeah.
And we were like paro.
Let me
That,
ask you. I want to
yeah,
ask you the next question because it is in line with where you're going.
yes.
So it says, at what point in your life did you realize that what you was going through was abuse?
When I started grammar school, in
Wow.
first form, I remember there was a point in time where they had all the first formers, all the students, the boys and girls separated. We were together at one point doing like sex ed, but it was a general
Mm-hmm.
thing. I can never forget that they opened all the walls in the new wing at the higher floors, the higher classrooms. And at a point in time, they had the girls and the boys separate, and they were teaching us about inappropriate touching and sexual abuse. And one of the teachers, I've been shaking talking about it.
Wow.
One of the teachers that listed about 10 things that is considered sexual abuse, I got panicked because 9 of those things I had been through,
Oh wow.
even
Oh,
before the
wow.
age of 12. So realizing that, I remember I stormed out because at that point I felt like eyes were all over me. Like people could see right through me and they could see
Yeah.
what I was going through. And already I just entered in high school. I didn't know how to feel. And it's like because I walked out, some people understood, okay, it got to me. And I was
Mm-hmm.
afraid. I was always afraid because in them times I was young, so I used to kind of blame myself. I used to
Ah, okay.
checking like what is wrong with me, why, because I used to feel targeted, like they would always come after me, all the perverted men, they would always come after me. So
Mm-hmm.
there, when I came to that realization, is like a whole different world opened up to me, because at first I felt it was normal for an adult male to do certain things to me as a child. So when I became a teenager, like going into 11, 12 years, when they would do certain
Mm-hmm.
things, even though I was very much afraid, I would just be like, and just stay there
You like, okay, okay.
and just stay there, let whatever happen, and then just move on. But when that happened, I got very angry. I became a very angry person. I
Angry
would like
person.
tell you, I started being very violent towards older men. Like if they tried to talk to me, I'll just
Yeah, you snap, right?
yes,
Wow.
yes. It was a lot.
Again, again, Amber, I want to just thank you so much for being transparent with us. I know that's your personal life, and you
Yes,
tonight you're taking the chance to just be transparent with us and let us know what you went through. I appreciate it very much. It's not easy. I can still see. I can still. It's
I
not
know.
easy, but I will appreciate you for that. Eh?
Yes, thank you.
So, I yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man. We're gonna go to the next question because you're just flowing right there. It says, how did the abuse affect your mental and emotional well-being in the early stages? So when you noted, when you were able to identify this, I went through was abuse. How did that play on your mental and emotional well-being?
Mhm. Oh, well, I was very angry, and I was going into high school, becoming a teen. I was very angry, and the fact that I was getting bullied as well, it did not help. So I
Wow.
fought a lot. I got suspended a lot. I had a lot of outbursts, but let me be more intimate. That is a part of me a lot of people don't know about. But my parents divorced before I entered high school. So there was a lot of emotion surrounding that. They were fighting a lot. So I already
Mm-hmm.
had that on my shoulders. But then after that day, I started having mental breakdowns the way I would just scream. Like when I thought of it and I think of the things that happened to me, it's like I would still feel the touch and I would just burst into a rage and start to scream and just start to destroy things. I've broken my mom's TV, broken doors. And a certain time, my parents used to have to lock me in the bathroom and my father would be in the bathroom just holding me like that.
Trying to, yeah,
Beating
to
him,
help
I
you. Okay.
punching him, I kicking him, break his glasses, and he's not letting me go. And my father is crying, and that is all I felt to do because I was just so enraged. I was just so enraged. Started checking like, why me? What is wrong with me? Why couldn't I just live a better life? Why couldn't it be nicer? And
Mm-hmm.
the other thing was nobody did anything.
Can I
I
ask this
didn't get
question?
any justice. That was
Go
another
ahead.
thing that affected me. Yeah.
Did
Wow.
you get any sort of like therapy or anything like that?
Well, in terms of the raging up, I think I mentioned it in my TikTok video in third form. I was like 14. I remember I had a problem with a girl, and what had happened was she gave our number to some creepy guy, and the guy wanted to do porn. And my mom had my phone and saw the message of the guy asking me if I'm comfortable having sex in front of a camera. And my mom is a rough lady, so she string me up and myself get angry because I got her ass whooping that night. So when I got to school the next day, I had all that rage on me.
Yeah.
The first 3 periods passed, I angry and I trying to tell myself no. So then all the girls come together to confront this one girl about what had happened. But then when I saw she was lying, a thing take me, I just started to pick up desk, chair, and just start to rage
Oh
up.
my goodness.
And it wasn't just that had pissed me off, but the mere fact that that old man made that type of advance towards me, I felt so
Mm-hmm.
disgusted because in my mind at that time, older men just only want to abuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Just want to. And another thing is, what a lot of people didn't know was I didn't have a boyfriend until a certain time in high school because I only dated girls. I didn't like boys.
Wow.
It took
So
a
you had
while.
that. Okay. Wow. Mm-hmm.
It took a while, and it's from third form I start to get some form of counseling because what happened was a teacher took me out of the class and she was scolding me, but then after the principal was like, no, something not right. And she come to me and she said, Amber, are you okay? And it's like I just broke down. I just started to cry because I didn't even know what to tell her. I didn't even know what to tell her because at the time I didn't know how to verbalize how I was feeling. So
Yeah.
she just told me, you know what, I'm not suspending you. It's not like you fought with anybody. I can see that it's not just that situation that is bothering you. Something else is bothering you. And she just put me with a counselor. I had to go to the counselor twice a week. And I just opened up to her about certain things, but not everything
Mm-hmm.
because two situations I told her about, and she was the only person that ever knew. My mom didn't know, and she had actually forced me to tell my mom. And me and my mom ended up in an argument because I got suspended. My mom was washing clothes. I can never forget the day I was by the front door, and she all the way by the back door, and she by the machine. Oh, what is wrong with you? Why are you so angry? And she's yelling at me. So then I screamed it at her because while she was in Totola, she didn't know what
What's
really
going on?
What's
happened
going
that day.
on?
Yeah.
And I screamed at her and I said, Mommy, so and so raped me on the night of my birthday. Why you think I cannot sleep on my birthday? And I just break down and my mom burst into a fit of rage and punched down that washing machine and it never worked again.
Oh wow.
Then she came, she grabbed me and I remember I just passed out. I just blacked out. Woke up the next day. It was a lot. It was a lot and
Okay.
yeah, it was a
I
lot.
gonna I gonna ask this last question.
Hmm.
Well, for that first segment, there's some questions that we were asking, and then we'll ask them to just share the life with somebody they know that went through that kind of experience because I believe you're very inspiration right now, knowing what you went through and the depth of it. I believe that yeah, we should give the viewers a chance to share this information with somebody
Yes.
that went through it. So then the last question I want to ask before we ask the viewers to share the live is that were there moments when you felt completely lost? And then I know there were moments when you felt lost.
Yeah.
The thing is, how did you navigate through them?
Well, my mom, I remember when I was in primary school, I was in grade 2 or grade 1, a little boy told me I was ugly and I felt very sad. And I remember I tell my mother and my father, and she had a little mirror hanging up on the wall. And since then, she'd always pick me up and put me in front of the mirror and say, "Who's mommy, pretty girl? You're so pretty. Look at your big bright eyes. You're so pretty. Don't make nobody tell you you're ugly." So it's like she built my confidence from since then, and it was really a battle. But then I pick up a habit where I would go and stand in front of the mirror and speak to myself. I still do it to this very day. I would stand in front of the mirror and talk to myself and say, "Nothing is wrong with you. It was them. Nothing is wrong with you." Like trying to talk to myself and convince myself that it wasn't my fault, and that I understand that my parents didn't understand how to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
It opened a whole world, a whole different world, because then I found out my mom was also abused. Her sisters,
Wow, a
like it was
generational thing then.
a thing. Yeah, but it's like I had to talk to myself. I had to really like go back to it. I had to kind of go back to it and look at it. I did a lot of research. I did a lot of reading. I even start following different YouTube pages and
Wow.
stuff. Like trying to do the work myself. And I still did counseling. There was this lady. Well, she's no longer in Dominica and stuff. Well, she didn't want me to mention her name. She's very private, but she and I was working together at first. She's an older woman. She's the same age as my mom, and it's like we just stayed close over the years. I started talking to her, and she just became my confidant. We kept talking, and she helped to motivate me all throughout high school. After high school, because I was a teen mom, I had my daughter at the age of 18, not too
Okay.
long after leaving school. So she was always there to talk to me, and having that person there that understood that I just wasn't an angry child that wanted to do what I want, but I was going through something. I just
Mm-hmm.
didn't have the knowledge that I needed to express that. And she taught me as well how to speak. She said, instead of getting angry, just say what you're feeling. But I just like I
Yes.
don't know how to say what I feel. And she said, Amber, if you're angry, say you're angry. If you hurt, say you hurt. If you sad, because I would always run to anger as the first. You make me feel sad,
Expression. Yeah. Yeah.
angry.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how it was. But she really helped me. It's like I had few people around me, few adults that were there and they listened, because that's all I wanted was for somebody to listen and to tell me what to do, help me, because I always wanted to be different from my parents. I never wanted the life I had as a child. So I just started to push to try and either find the people or find the resources.
The
However,
resources to help you. All right,
yes.
Amber. I want you to just answer this comment before we just ask the viewers to share their life with somebody they know that went through that same experience like you. The person asking, who is this young lady? So does give another short introduction so they can understand who you are, and then we'll ask
Okay,
them to share.
Miss Sweetness, my name is Amber, Amber Big, but I'm also known as Janae and Amber Janae as well. I'm a nail tech and a lash tech. I do own a small online boutique. You can check it out, Ambi's Closet and
Mhm.
Ambi's Nails on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm on TikTok as well. Amber Janae, you can follow all my platforms. You can go through my business page, and I know you will love what you see because I'm one of the best on island, trust me.
So I can come and get my nails done then.
Oh my, oh my, oh my, guys! If you find what is happening is very interesting, if you know anybody that went through that experience, the same experience like her, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to just share that with somebody, tag somebody in it. It can help them in some way. I just find it's very inspirational how she's able to be this level-headed after such a very, very, very tough time in the early stages of her life. So giving you guys 2 more seconds to share the life. Okay, moving forward.
We can share the life as we go. It doesn't even matter. Just keep on sharing the life,
All right.
because
Yeah, well, go ahead, Carlo. Go ahead. Just
I my thing is, you're a strong young lady, You're a strong person, I can see.
Thank you.
To have gone through this traumatic kind of
Just
scenario.
sorry to disturb you, just now 1 minute. The baby wake up.
Oh, no
okay.
problem.
All right. All right. All right. All right.
That story there, I didn't even know how to think of that story there.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
That
I'm
story
telling
is
you.
a different type of story altogether.
I'm telling you. And
It's a very touching and compelling story that she had, and I also know that a lot more young people are going or is going or has been through this kind of thing and probably even worse,
Yeah.
you know? And it takes a community. It takes a
Good night,
community
mom.
to it takes a community to eradicate these kinds of things taking place in our country and in our community, because we all have to band together, man. This young lady went through a traumatic scenario,
Yeah.
very traumatic scenario, and
Yeah, she
I
backwards us,
wouldn't
man.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy,
I know.
you know, because how she talking there now? I mean, she's being candid with her story, but
Yes.
I know it took you a long time and probably still taking you time to go through what you're going through here right now.
Yes, yes. There's still a lot to process. I still get emotional. So it's like sometimes I will still feel some type of physical something just talking about
Mhm.
it. I'll start to shake like as if I revisit in the moment. It's like
Yeah.
revisiting the moment when you talk about it. But I stronger now, man. I not the Amber I used to be some years ago. So I can talk about it.
I heard tears was about to come out your eyes a while ago too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
But
I just pulled up something there real quick, Fetty. I was like,
good, good.
the four main types of abuse. There's a neglect, physical abuse, psychological abuse, and sexual abuse. And from her thing so far, it seemed
All
like
four.
she went through all four.
Yes. All four.
It
Yes.
seemed like from the abuse, the sexual abuse when she was in Antigua, when she came back, she got the physical abuse from her uncle, the psychological abuse from her uncle. You know, it was, and then the neglect in the sense that he wasn't even taking care of them in a proper way. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
The
it's
whole month we wasn't in school, but he tell the school that my mother took us and go to Tortola with us. So they
checked
and
up on all
never
you
seen us
again.
in the area, so people believe what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Until my mom's best friend, big up Castle, my
Wow.
mom's best friend is outside. We go outside and play, and he see us. And our uncle always used to tell us if we see people, go back inside. And we were
Yeah,
afraid of beaten, so we would go back inside. But he ended up seeing us, and boy, my brother stand up on the road especially, and my brother watch him, and tears roll down his face, and he run come. And somebody call my mom and tell my mom, Fern, my mother always tell me to my mother would cry and bawl for you every time she talk about that. She say, while she in Totolo, somebody calling her when she look is her best friend and crying, checking like, Fern, if you have to see the state the manner of your children. Imagine he make
Wow.
river take me already, a rainy day he bring us by the river, and the river take me. My leg had break. He never brought me to the hospital. I stayed there up to this day. If I stand, you'll see a lump on the side of my leg, and it's because it's like he just put like something to keep it straight. But I remember I was
Mm-hmm.
in so much pain. I would pass out and wake up, pass out and wake up in pain. I never experienced pain like that until I make a child. Yeah.
Wow.
It was horrible. And what happened was, all I know is that day we sit down in the living room, the lights just come on, and then three men just burst through the door, and my uncle was in the room sleeping and come inside there and whoop his ass. Beat
Oh, they put a beating on the boy.
inside. Yes,
you
there
didn't
was
need a meeting. You didn't need more than a meeting.
all the men of the neighborhood, all the like in our lane, all my mother
Mm-hmm.
friends, even two people my mother wasn't even dealing with. Beating him, my father, all of them go down on me, run under the bed and they beating him, but his son had done run off. His son had done run off. Up till today, I don't know where this man is. The last time I saw him was at his father's funeral, and he didn't even come in the church. He stayed all the way on the road. He didn't come
That is
nowhere near the
something else,
church.
boy.
Yeah. I saw my father as a hero in that moment. I saw my father as a hero because I remember feeling so sad because we was hungry and we just sit down there. I remember one of my mother other friends came with peanut butter bread. When I tell you we eat the whole loaf of bread one shot before we even touch the peanut butter.
Mother.
I was so hungry. Oh my god. I was so hungry. Very, very hungry. I was so happy to see my father. My father just grab us and squeeze us. Yeah, it was that moment I felt like, because all my life, anytime something would happen, I would just suck it up, move on. Never talk about it, never deal with it. It's just suck it up and move on. But then when I became a teen and then the pressure of school, by the time I had hit 14, 15 years, I just couldn't take it. I just exploded. Just explode. It was very hard to be in school. I hated being at home because home reminded me of my abuse. And I hated going to school because I felt like everybody could see through me and see what was going on with me. And that is like, I used to get bullied because I was a quiet child and I would mob with awkward children, the Haitians, the outcasts,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
So I would get bullied sometimes from trend, but I was a fighter. That is one thing. I was a fighter. So I used to defend myself, but it was still hard at times. It was still hard because some people, when they would find out what you go through, I wouldn't let, oh, teenagers are ruthless. Oh my God, somebody already take my abuse and throw in my face as a teen. So it was very hard to cope with
Yeah.
school.
I can understand. Let me tell you something. I can understand exactly the kind of a thing you would be going through in a teenage. Sad. There was a part in my life when I wasn't so understanding of people's stress, and I would laugh people and have a whole vulgar laugh, and it would make people feel bad. So if you had people like me before, then I know you could be very tough growing up. I know
Yes,
that.
yes,
I
it was.
definitely know that. But then I want you to just check some of the comments because the people are just somebody said something just Royston and Drew. He said, sad but strong bounce back. Bless you.
Thank
You
you,
know,
thank you, thank you.
we have this person here, this person, Gary Phillip. He says, when children go through these traumatizing situations, it stays with them for the rest of their lives, which is also true. So it's really sad that this young lady had to go through this. It's very sad.
Yes,
It is very, very sad. And I want to ask you a question because as you just tell me, the community it took even the community had to take action in terms of your situation. Weren't the police ever called into that situation?
that I was not aware of. I know they were involved with my father's situation because my father had to prove that he didn't do anything to me. My mother had to come back home. But in terms of the police being involved in that, I don't think they were, because growing up, how I honestly felt. Recently, me and my mother sat and had a conversation, and I told her honestly, Mommy, I feel like your family does hide when sexual abuse happens to children,
Mm-hmm.
because I felt like nothing wasn't done. Nothing was done at all. I didn't feel like anything was done. If they did anything behind closed doors that I, as a child, did not know about, then that's fine. But in terms of what I know, nothing was done. He escaped, he ran away, he stayed and lived in Portsmouth for how many years till he died.
Her name is Amber. She's from Canefield, and she's a nail technician in Dominica. She does and a lash technician as well, right? Lash tech and
Yes.
nail tech, right? She
Yeah,
say man as well as woman can come and get their nails done. So when I come to here, I buy Amber getting my
definitely.
nails
You
done.
know, definitely.
You just do foot too, no? You just do pedicure and manicure and them things, eh?
Well, the pedicure, I ease up on it for a little while. I had a C-section for my last daughter, and the bending over does be a bit painful, but I trying to
Okay.
get somebody I can train to do it, because right now I don't have nobody to do it for me. But I do the manicures and stuff.
Okay, well, I coming for my
All right.
pedi, eh? You have to
Okay.
deal with that pain, when I come. I want my foot have to be nice and clean. But yeah, so she's just giving us her life's story tonight. It's a very traumatic story, and if you ever know somebody that going through this story,
Yes.
you all need to speak up and
And
speak
I
up
know how
Yeah,
loud.
yeah.
I you, trust me.
I was
I know.
about to just ask you, Amber, off your head, how many young ladies you know have gone through the same experience as you?
Well, mom, a lot of my cousins, my younger sister, she was abused by the same
The
person.
same person?
Yes, my younger sister. I actually have another cousin whose situation was actually worse than mine. Because,
Worse than yours?
yes, because her father wasn't in her life, left when she was 7, and her mother, let's say she wasn't the type of mother to really care about those things, So it's like, I remember when I first opened up to it up with a group of friends, like about four or five. One of us in the crew alone that didn't understand, never went through it. So there's a large amount of women, and today, even working, and since after posting that video, a lot of young women have been coming forward in the comments,
Of
messaging me,
course.
and I realized that this is a big problem here, and and majority of them, nobody knows that they went through that. Not their mother, not their father, nobody knows that they went through that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot. It's saddening because it's like when you look at it, I checking like, is that an epidemic here or something?
Yeah, definitely. I
Yeah,
I
understand that.
I think it's an epidemic in Dominica, I
Understand
think
that.
so.
yeah,
And
And a lot of people are grudgeful and spiteful, so they tend to want to pass their rage on people. Or
yes,
if they couldn't get to the parent, they're gonna try to get to the child through the parent. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
yes,
Get to the parent through the child. So whichever
yes.
way they can get to you, that's what they try to do. So we have to be very protective of our kids and protective of our circle all entirely.
Yeah.
And
Yes, yes.
this this
I want
I think that go ahead.
no. Well, I just wanted to point out what this young lady is saying. She's saying we need to normalize people telling their stories, especially in the Northeast where sexual abuse numbers are high. Okay,
That
it's
is
a
true.
comment. We're just reading a comment. Yeah.
Is there any facilities in place to try to curb this scenario from happening? Do you
If
know of
there,
that?
if there are any, they are not properly invested in. Nobody doesn't care because we don't have any facility here for that. We
Okay.
don't. We don't. Trust me.
And
When it
then
comes to mental health here,
Mhm.
we don't have anything like that. I actually hope one day that when I become more financially comfortable,
able.
I actually want to build a boys and girls center where they can come and get counseling. They will have activities. I'll work with the government where there will be stuff placed in schools where they would have to do mandatory hours, keep them off the streets, keep them in a place where they play their basketball, their football, their volleyball, get them into sports. If there are children that are struggling with abuse at home, we can find ways to reach out to parents, have meetings, family counseling, because I feel like if we had more of that, a lot of problems would be solved because some parents don't know. That is even what helped me to forgive my parents for not doing enough because they themselves did not have the knowledge, and I just had to understand that they didn't understand. And passing the knowledge on, educating our people, because I learned that knowledge is power. Educating our people, they'll be better able to safeguard their children. Because to be real, I grew up around a lot of people that were very frivol with their kids. Like could just send them anywhere. Little children, they walking on the street, their children 10 paces behind them, and they're all the way at the front.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
3-year-old kids. Yes, and me, I would never do that. My mother never did that with us. Never. She did it so much up to this very day. I will hold anybody walking on the street with me and we have to cross the road. I will hold your hand and I will go with you like you're a child because I get so accustomed to my mom doing it to me. I even doing it to her now. I even doing it to her now. I will hold her hand and cross the road. Or I telling her cross now. Like she's my child. It instilled in me and now I
Instilled in
do it to
you.
my
Yeah.
daughters.
Okay,
Yeah.
just reading that comment. Yes, there's some Gary Phillip is saying I admire the strength of this young lady because not many victims of abuse have the courage to speak up about it.
It's
I
true.
hope by she coming forward to share her story will encourage more young ladies to do the same.
I
Read the
pray, I
next one.
hope so.
We
Read
have
the
another
next
one from Randy Prosper. He says most of the times you hear about sexual abuse is a friend of the family call family member and then the family hush house uncover it up and destroy the child future.
Majority of abuse that happens doesn't come from strangers. It comes from
one. Yeah, it
people
comes from the home. Yeah, it comes from the
The
family,
family.
man.
that is so true. It comes from the people close to you.
Imagine that. I'll ask you this question because I think you passed the other questions I had scheduled for you. You already covered them. This one says, what role did self love and self acceptance play in your transformation?
Well, it played a very big role. And it was a time I was just sitting and I was going through a lot. Maria had passed and the house got completely destroyed. So at the time, I was homeless. After Maria, I was homeless with my daughter. I didn't have anywhere to go. I was sleeping in people's basement. At the same time, it's like every time I had to be house hopping, I used to have to walk from wherever I was to get to town with. And my daughter, she was two. No, she was a year and a half at the time, and she was epileptic. She was very sick. So I had to be going to and from the hospital if a hurricane just passed. It was a lot, and I was going through a dark season, and I felt like I was just floating through life. And it's like a lot of emotions start to bubble up, and I started to feel so sad because I'm thinking about my past life, and then I'm thinking of my life now. And I check in like, but I have a child now. Like, why I have to be going through that? And at a certain time, I almost convinced myself that, you know what, maybe it's the sins of my forefathers that falling on me, and I just need to take it in. But then I don't know. It had this voice in my head. I just say it's my intuition that was just telling me that's not you. Every time saying that's not you. That's not you. Like my spirit was telling me, you're not there. You need to wake up. Like wake up. Like I was just floating. I didn't understand what was going on. And eventually, when I look at my life, I say, you know what? I want more for myself. I was already doing nails, but I wasn't established in town. I still was doing it part time. I still worked a regular job and I was doing it part time. And I started renting my own apartment. And it's like I check in, like, hey, I get my own apartment. And it's like seeing this slow progress and doing it on my own without needing my parents, without needing help from my mom or anybody. It's like it motivates me a little bit. It motivates me. And not only that, having to look at my daughter, I used to always watch her face and check in, like, I will give you the love you deserve. I always wanted to be better. I say, no, I cannot just sit down and just decide, you know what, this was my life. So let me just make
Continue.
all these negative emotions consume me. Because I remember when I used to be angry and I say, you know what, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to have to go and make my emotions consume me and then I do something and I in the prison sit down and my child have to come and bring banana and cane
Oh,
for
kind
me
of thing.
and
Yeah.
thing for me up there. So I was more thinking of her, but in turn, I had to turn it back on myself and ask myself, Amber, what about yourself that you do not love, that these people made you hate, that have you just floating through life like you don't have no purpose? And then I just decided, you know what, I started going to school online. It was very hard because I had to work, and sometimes my boss wasn't really understanding, and it was a lot. And then I just make the brave decision one of those days to quit my job and push my business. And in 6 months, just like that, things start to roll. I remember Ranji, I was talking to Ranji and I turned Ranji checking like, what you doing nails so nice? How much people asking for you? Why you don't have a business page? And he was just encouraging me, like, make a business page. And then when I put my stuff on Facebook, it started to move because I'm a person every now and then I used to go viral for little videos I would make and I was just checking like use that to your advantage and seeing the love not only coming from people but coming from my daughter. I had to talk to myself and say, if they can see me like that, what am I not seeing? I had to just turn and stop looking at the world and just look at myself and ask myself, hey, what about yourself you hate? And then I look at myself, you're not ugly, you're a very beautiful girl. You're not bad mind. You doesn't bad mind nobody. And I just have to count all the good things about myself. And I say, I'm not that much of a bad person. I'm not a bad person at all. And I'm not a bad person at all. And I just have to believe in myself, talk to myself. I continue doing the whole thing with the mirror. Because after the hurricane for like about a year, I wasn't doing it. I just couldn't get myself to do it, to watch the mirror and just say like, yeah. And then I started looking at myself in the mirror. At first I started repeating what my mother used to say, look at a pretty girl, look at a pretty girl. Then I go into, you are beautiful, you are loved, you deserve love, there is nothing wrong with you, this wasn't your fault, your life wasn't your fault, you were young, you were not in control, you have to love you, I love you, I love you. And I'll just continue saying it, I love you. And then I just break down crying, and the energy in the room had just changed. And from there I start going to classes. I redid some of my CXC subjects because I wasn't satisfied with the grades. And I also started doing nail courses because I'm self-taught. That is how I learn. I'm self-taught, but I still wanted to be certified because when time came to register my business, I have to be certified.
Yeah.
I got my certification, and it's then eventually when my business started to grow, is when my business start to grow, I really look back and check, like, you know what? It wasn't all that bad, no? It's just the love for myself. And instead of looking at the world, looking at myself and looking within, it kind of pushed me to reach a level where I check like, I'm in a position I used to wish I was at when I was a little girl, checking like, boy, I can't wait until nobody do have control over me so then I can take care of myself or I want to take care of myself. But then having to see myself go down that dark area after the hurricane and seeing that I'm not doing for myself what I had promised to myself, I say, no, I have to look within. And it just helped for things to just turn around from there.
Yeah. I just want to just thank you once again. My wife just confirmed that you did her nails for our wedding, so you did a wonderful job. Oh my goodness. So thank I did not know that until a while ago. She just messaged me. Yeah, she
Oh,
just messaged me.
wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Somebody asked a question in the comment section. I want to know if you can answer that. It says after the person abuses you, did the trip help me a little bit Cardo, to piece it together?
After the person abused you, did they tip you? And if yes, what kind of tip did they make to you? Um,
I don't understand the question now. Trip?
trip tip. I'm thinking it's tip.
Trip tip. Okay, let's use tip. Let's use tip for context sake because we have to piece it together. If you can correct it, you can in the comments just comment it one time so we can get it. But we're gonna use tip for now to answer that question.
Tip, tip, tip.
Tip. Yes. Did
Yeah,
they give you any
Well,
money for that? Any monetary
like
reimbursement or something like
when
that?
they
Say?
were abusing me,
yeah.
Yes.
they
Yes.
would bribe me. They would bribe me with money and stuff, but I would never take it. I couldn't.
You
I don't know.
couldn't.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Um,
Wow.
some of them they would try to lure you with money, and if you don't come, they would just forcefully
Grab
uh,
you and
so I never used to do
Okay.
it. I never used to do it because, well, as a child, I always had the deep feeling that something wasn't right about it. So to accept money from some, because they always used to say, oh, look, I did, like after they do it, they'd say, look, don't say nothing, don't tell your mother, don't tell
yeah.
and stuff. They would try and they just do that. They just really do
Oh
that.
well.
Yeah, because it's a psychological game they're playing, you know.
Yes,
They
right,
know it wrong, and at the
right.
same time, it's like, yeah, let me get something to keep her more quiet, you know. Get you
Yes,
don't want
but
that $10 there, girl, you don't want that, you know.
not always the best.
Yeah.
Sometimes, if they're giving you like candy and thing, at a certain point in time, I used to take it, making them believe, because either way I was going to stay quiet. 'Cause I didn't know where I was going to go to. But then when you didn't used to take the bribe, they say, oh, they would threaten you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just see you
Ah.
and take
Okay.
you and do you this and whatever. Oh, shut your mouth and thing.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to not feel like I might tell, I would just take it, and after they go, I'll just throw it away. Because then my mother going to ask me where I get that, where I
Yeah.
get money, or where I get this. I didn't buy that for you. Where you get that, and I didn't know how to explain that to her. And my mom was the type of person. In my mind, I check like I don't want her to go to jail because my mother, when she used to, the rage I used to mimic when I was a teen, my mother rage was 10 times worse. Like she would completely just black out, rip doors off of hinges. Like my mother could full on pick up a metal cylinder and launch that with one hand, like a
Oh,
stone.
because yeah. Wow.
Rage that used to
Wow.
take her like that. So I used to be afraid that she would do something to somebody, kill a person, and then she have to go to jail, and it's my fault. So I used to think back in the days. So I just check like, you know what? I don't want her to see I take nothing from nobody, so let me just throw it away. Just throw it away.
Okay. I want to ask you that. I want to ask you. I want to ask you. And to ask you. And to ask you which one again.
You
Because I
know,
seen comments coming through, and I want to just. I want to make sure we address those comments as well. So then,
somebody said men can be sexually abused too by friends.
Yep, that is
of
very true.
course,
That is
of
something.
course.
Something I noticed is a lot of young men were abused by older women. Sometimes their mothers, friends, the neighbors. But because of how society put it, like, oh, use a man, you know, feeling good. A lot of young men, a lot of young men, they sit down and they talk to you. And when I understood what sexual abuse was, when they would tell me, I say, that wasn't sex, you was abused. You 8 years and a grown 40 something year old woman making you torture and do things to her. That is abuse.
Yeah.
But I realize when it comes to the men, to the boys, they glamorize it. in a sense that, oh, you becoming a man because an older woman wants you. It's glamorized in a sense. It's not taken seriously.
You can read that. I can't read. It says, people don't believe me when I say when I was a victim of my babysitter abusing me because I kept that a secret and kept it in for my son long. People need to let it out and tell someone if it happens to you.
Happens to you. That
Traumatized him for years.
that is true. That is very true. That is very true. But a lot of people are in unfortunate situations because what I learned, especially now being a mom, it's not easy to tell somebody because just like how you said people did not believe you, sometimes you telling them one time when it happened they don't believe in you, sometimes you waiting 10 years they don't believe you. It's all based on that person's mental capacity, is where they are at mentally, what level they on mentally. Because there are people that, like for example the night when my cousin did what he did, I remember there was a lady, my uncle always used to bring us by up River Estate, and she always used to, she was such a nice lady, and she was good friends with my uncle. And she always used to say, if we need anything, we can come to her. And I remember that night I ran on the rain with my sister and my brother. I even almost fall with the person child on my shoulder. I climb up this step. I remember I was feeling so cold, and I knock on her door. It was very late. By the time she finally answered, she asked me what is going on. So I explained to her the situation. I tell her, look, this that happened to me. I don't have no pants on. I need somewhere to lay my head. I'm afraid he going to come back. And I explained. She asked me, oh, who do that? Who do that? So I tell her, so and so did that to me, your friend's son. And it's like, so, oh, I don't believe that. I do. Then people there is Christian. Telford Trent doesn't do that. Da, 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 da. Because she's talking about my grandfather, because my grandfather was a pastor,
Mhm.
Christian Union. So she's self checking like I lying because oh my uncle cannot be like that. Or my uncle's a Christian, da, da, da. And she said, get the hell out from in front of her door and never come back. And she just slammed the door in my face. I was I remember like the wind just come out in my chest because I know I have to go back to the
Back.
house. I have to go right back. I have to go right,
I
and I go back here with them because they didn't have nothing we could do.
nothing exactly, and your child. What,
Yeah,
what much can you do? I
yeah,
remember you said something in your video. I didn't
mhm.
put it in the script, but I'm gonna put it now. You also said that you so pastors approached you.
Yes. What happened was I'm not sure if it was a teacher, but I remember I was on the bus stop in town, and this young man that went to, I'll not give the church name
Yeah, okay, it's okay.
and stuff because people will know the
Kini
person.
church need damn well let them know where them predator there.
So
Well,
he came
any
to me and he was like, "Oh, their favorite line. Oh, I know your mother and your father." And he told me that one of the teachers that I spoke to confided in him, and he let her know that I know these people. They went to our church. I know these people, and like he explained to her about how my mother and my father marriage was very tumultuous, and my mother and my father would always hit her head on that.
Mhm.
So he invited me to his home. He invited me to his home, and he invited me under the rules that they just have these little things where church members would gather together for prayer and stuff
Mhm.
like that on certain days. So it was a Thursday afternoon, but as I finished school, I go because he say the people there will be able to build a community and talk, and if I need the support and stuff. And I wanted some support outside of school. And I remember when I went to him, just like everybody, the other counselors in school, he was trying to encourage me to tell my mother what happened because at the time she did not know yet. She did not know yet, and I wanted to tell her, but I didn't know how to tell her because I was afraid of her reaction, and I was afraid she would not believe me too. I was really afraid she would not believe me. And he invited me to his home, and I remember I was there sitting on the chair, and nobody else was there. And he was telling me, "Oh, everybody coming at 5 o'clock. Everybody coming at 5 o'clock." And he trying to make conversation with me, but it's like he come, he sit down on the chair next to me, and he want to be touching my shoulder, and he talking to me and thing and whatever. And and a certain time, he come, he put his hand on my thigh and just start to slide it up slowly, going up my school skirts.
Hmm.
And I remember I freeze in the moment, like I telling myself to get up and run, and for some strange reason, I cannot get up and run. I cannot say anything, like I stifled, and I was scared. And it's somebody that knocked at his door that make him take out his hands in my pants.
Where it was.
Yeah, it's
And
somebody
that
that
is
knocked at the door. And come to find out, nobody was ever coming over. He did that to lure me over. And what happened was the lady say, "But who you have inside there now?" Like a Bamsi person. She said, "But who you have inside there now? You doing counseling today? Who you have inside there?" And she said, "What you have a school child inside there for? She by herself." And
yeah.
right there, it was my opening. And I just tell him,
Yeah.
"Hey, you're calling me, I have to go." And he talked to me like, as, "Okay, then don't forget the next session. We will talk about so and so and so and da 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 da." Pretending, but I was done walking
Pretending.
off already. And I remember I was like 2 communities away from my home, and I walk. I never take a bus. I just walk. I just walk. And a certain time when I catch myself, I was in Canefield, and I was so scared to go inside there because darkness fall, and my mother going to ask me why I come out.
Where you
Come
come
on,
out.
yeah.
So it's like I lie and tell her we had athletics practice, and me and my friends
Wow.
ended up staying late, and we was talking like I make a believe we was ponging Beth, and we just get
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
up.
Give
So
her a story to buy. To buy.
okay,
Why?
and she let me go. I remember I was so eager to go in the shower because anytime it would happen, I would just feel the urgent need to
To
take a
be.
shower. Is that I always wanted to run to the shower and stuff, but it's like I don't know. I could sense something was off with the guy, but at the time I check in, like probably as I afraid of older men, probably that
Mm-hmm.
is why I feeling like that. And he's a man of the church. He's a deacon, so he wouldn't
Oh,
do
oh
that to
wow.
me. He wouldn't do that. And you know my parents. You know my parents, and he ended up doing that to me. I remember he saw me 2 weeks later with my mother, and everything inside me tell me to say it. And I did not say it. I did not tell her. I did not tell her at all, at all, at all, at all. I did not tell her. I was so ashamed of myself in that moment, because I was the type of girl to be so brave and stand up for other people. But then when it was for myself, I just couldn't do it. I was just a lip lock. I just could not do it.
Hmm. We have a comment right there. So somebody said, I had a preacher leave me at church during Bible school when all the kids went on a trip. I came late, missing the bus. My sister and cousin got to ride with him. When I went to get in the car, he told me there was no more room. So they closed the door on me, and I was the only child, 10 years old, by
Oh,
myself at the church. Somebody's experience. They're saying I had to walk. This is continuation. I had to walk to my grandmother's house with my eyes full of tears. Yeah, basically,
that is
you
traumatic.
know,
That is
and
traumatic.
again, for to just imagine coming from your experiences already, and then you trying to open up, trying to find hope. That you can get through this traumatic experience, and then
Exactly.
you're seeing somebody that's supposed to be a safe haven for you, somebody you can open up
Yes,
to,
that is very true.
exploiting you because why?
For their own gain. I
You
remember
understand
I
me?
was on a bus a time going home from school, and I was sitting down in the seat that is before the back seat, and there was a guy sitting down right there next to me. Now there was this little keychain my mother got for me when she went to St. Martin, and it had a little key on it, but it had a little knife.
Mm-hmm.
So I always held it with me for just in case I would be able to escape a situation. I always carry a weapon with me, always. I hid it well so they wouldn't find it on me in school, but I always had it to protect myself. So the guy sit down and the back seat had empty. Some people go down in Fukole, so all 3 of them got off the back seat and they went. There was nobody sitting on that side. They didn't have a little seat by me. So boss is driving. One time, the door don't even fully close. He
You
come
touch
in and
it.
he touching my legs. But his head straight, his head straight, and he trying to touch me. So I close my legs tighter and he trying to force his hands between my legs and looking straight like nothing is happening. So I pull out that little thing and I just hold it so, and he just go,
Oh yes.
just so. He hold the screen and he hold it. And I just get up and I go on the back seat. I was so scared because I was expecting for him to scream or something. And I
Yeah.
the trouble. I sit down for a whole week waiting for police to come. I was so scared. But it was like I don't know why I reacted like that, but it was just a decision I make in a split second. In a split second, I say it's better somebody catch me stabbing him than I allow that man to touch me.
Yeah.
It's like I was getting fed up at a certain point in time. I was getting I was checking like, wow, I don't want that to happen to me again.
I know. I definitely know. Okay, so I'm just going to ask you then just winding on questions because you've done so good already.
I
So I
feel
guess that
sad.
we did.
Uh, I feel sad for our community, man. And
I know, man. So
this is
wow,
crazy.
you're strong. Hang in there. Just follow more. A couple more minutes, man. We good. Is there what are some daily affirmations or mantras that helped you stay strong?
Well, I gave my life to Christ in 2020,
Uh huh.
but going into that lead me into a deeper form of spirituality. So
Okay.
I end up discovering the Mother Ocean, that is the mother of the water. She's
Mm-hmm.
widely in Africa. And there was this chant basically asking her for blessings and for strength, the mother of the womb. Ide were were itaushu, ide were were. Ide were were itaushun, ide were were itaya. Ochake niba nitaushun, cheke cheke nitaushun. Ide were were. And I would sing it while I'm bathing because it's a
Okay.
song to give thanks to the mother of the water. And I am in water, and I would just feel like everything was just washing away. I would feel light. I would pray. I would always make sure I pray as for protection, and I read the Bible, and the herbs are the healing of the nation. I burn in my bay leaf, my sage. I mop in my floor with cinnamon and nutmeg to keep negative energy out, to keep my mental space clear, keeping my home clean, keeping things in order, and basically staying grounded. Like I like to do a lot of grounding, put my foot in the grass, get some time alone in nature. You know, getting the time alone in nature, getting to at least try and build a closer bond, a closer relationship with the Creator, with God.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting down in my loneliness and getting the time to pray, to meditate. You know, it's like it helped me a lot. But that's Oshun, the chanting. I found the album Women of the Calabash, and it's basically giving thanks to God. It's African praises. If
Mm-hmm.
you're not really knowledgeable of that, you'll think it's just some wild thing I sing in,
You're
but
saying, but
it
yeah.
has a lot of spiritual meaning, and also spirituality helped me a lot. It helped me a lot. It helped me to calm down. It helped me to learn to think and feel before I speak. It helped me to just navigate through a lot of the negative emotions because they would consume my mental a lot. Because as a teen, I was very suicidal. I actually attempted twice, and nothing never happened. Nothing
Okay.
never happened. The second time, my mom actually walked in and she did not even notice that I was doing. She had some old medication there, I think, that she hadn't taken for a very long time. She didn't need it. And I had swallowed 10 of them and I had put another
Simultaneously.
5 in my mouth. All I know is I just end up sleeping, and my mother
Mm-hmm.
thought
Mm-hmm.
is tired. I was tired. She wake me up. She give me tea. I remember I was so bazoody. I was just like that. Now, by that time, my mom knew I was smoking weed because I started smoking weed at the age of 11. Because the cousins in the family who were also getting abused knew what was going on, and some of the boys they checking like they smoking their ganja to free their head. And one of my cousins checking like, "You sad? You know, I know you sad. I know what happened for you." And he checking like, "Look, smoke a little
Wow.
something, relax and stuff." And for a while, I used to use it as a way to escape. Like anytime I'd go for something, I would just go and like run away my little area before my mom found out and smoke my little weed. When she found out, I think she thought I had smoked weed because she had told me to stop.
Mm.
She thought his high, I was high, but she didn't know his medication I took. And
Medication.
if she watched that live, she will find out for the first time.
Oh wow.
Mommy, don't watch the live then.
Oh
Yes.
boy.
It was a lot because to me I felt that I checked like I need to leave this place. I need to leave this place. It's too hard to have to remember those things and feel the way I feel in. And
Mm-hmm.
at the time I just didn't believe that my life would be anything outside of abuse. I
Okay.
had to come full circuit, but it takes so much, and I still learning. I still learning.
I
Personally
have
learning.
I have a next question there for you. So it says, "What would you say to your younger self if you had the chance?"
Wow. I would say to her, Amber, you are not alone. You were never alone. Speak up. You are loved. You are cherished. Mommy and daddy love you. They just did not have the time to pay attention. They don't
Wow.
understand. Just because these evil people chose, remember they chose, there was nothing wrong with you, to hurt you, doesn't mean that anything is wrong with you. I love you. I love you, baby girl.
Wow. Wow. You're doing good. You're doing good. You're doing good. Hang in there. You're doing very
Yeah,
good.
I
You're
love
doing
you, baby
good,
girl,
good, 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 good.
with all of my heart. And one day, you will be a mom. If only you could see you now.
You're doing
You
good.
are
Trust
doing
me.
just fine. Just hang in there. Okay, sorry, we all you.
You so we understand. You know, we understand. We understand.
Oh my
We
god.
have some. We have some, we have some comments coming. Let's just check it out.
But yeah,
Somebody.
I was crying and crying.
Somebody say,
Listen.
"Wow, powerful." Somebody say, "You have them crying too."
Sorry.
Goodness. Yeah, man, you're doing well. You're doing well. I do want to give an opportunity. I do want to give an opportunity to, I mean, to talk to somebody who's going out there through the same thing that you've gone through. You never could tell how far your words of encouragement somebody who's been
Yes.
through it can go. So I want you to just do that.
To anybody out there, whether man or woman, boy or girl, that is going through some form of abuse, whether it be verbal, whether it be emotional, whether it be physical, you need to speak up. Find somebody, you have somebody close to you that you know you confide in, you know that you trust. Confide in them. Or if you guys want to come to me, I am open. There are lots of young children that I speak to, that I give advice to, free of charge. You can come to me. I love being a counselor to other people. I always talking to people and giving advice. That is something I do on a daily, even with my own clients. So you can come to me. I understand. I understand what you're going through. There are people like me who are here. If you have any counselors you can go to them. But you need to speak up. You need to speak up. And you see that little fighter in you, that does tell you, hey, get up. Listen to that person in you. Listen to that person in you. Don't blame yourself because it's not your fault. Don't blame your parents because our parents only know as much as they were taught. Confide in
Wow.
somebody. Open up to the right person. It's best to go to a counselor. It's best to go to a counselor if you are still in school and there are counselors in school. Set up weekly meetings and open up to them. But just to give a disclaimer, if your situation is very severe and the police are called or they need to get involved, you need to understand that when you open up to somebody that cares about your safety, they are going to come in and swoop in with the police with everything. Your life might shift, but the shift is a good shift.
Okay. Wow.
Saying something now can get you out of the situation. Because sometimes you sit in there, you're not telling your mother, and your mother would catch the world on fire for you. So you need to speak up. Sometimes the help is right there. Speak up. That is it.
Yep. And then I want you to just to wrap it up. How can people support survivors of abuse in a meaningful way?
Understanding, comprehension. Before you able to listen, be able to understand. And sitting down and reading a book, going on Google and doing some research, it's not a thing to feel embarrassed about because that is how you gain knowledge. Educate yourself. When somebody comes to you and tell you, boy, I going through that, don't just shove them off and tell them, oh, life goes on. No, because to the people that are being abused, life has not moved on from since that first moment it happened. It stays right there. Time moves, but you don't move. So be understanding. Give a listening ear. Check up on your friend. If you find them moving funny, and pay attention to the signs. Young girls, like girls especially, when you go wherever, because all of us already go and do stupidness for ourselves when we was young. My teen girls, I'm speaking to you. You have a friend that acts very funny when they are around men, or they very hot behind boys. Talk to your friend. Something is happening or something happened. Because a lot of
Wow.
times, young girls that are either very afraid of men or are very hot behind men were sexually abused by older men. So talk to your friend, and if you feel, you will feel it. Intuition, or as the Bible calls it, the spirit of discernment, you will feel it. Talk to your friend. Sometimes all they're looking for is somebody to say, "You okay?" And then they'll just let you know. And do like me, I remember finding out about a friend that was being abused, and I bring her police station, before I even deal with my situation.
Hey,
I
wow.
go to police station, and then we have to go for her parents and whatever, and it had a whole debacle about it. She was being groomed by an older man, and
Hmm.
she just felt like, oh, he was so in love with her because he had abused her when she was young, but then he come back around in her life and make her believe his love, he had loved her
Hmm.
and wanted to be with her. So talk to your friends, be open minded, open up your mind. You understand me? Be willing to listen. And yes, it might sound like I telling you to take on people problems, but you're not taking on people problems. What you're doing is preventing somebody from deciding that it is okay to end it all, because a lot of people going through things. We're seeing people dying left, right, and center. Suicide is something that is high on the minds of people that go through abuse. So check on your friend. Open up your ears, your heart, your mind. Don't laugh at them when they men. When your partner come and tell you whoever did something to him, don't laugh at him and say he's a bad man or whatever. Understand, it's a mental thing. So we have to elevate ourselves mentally, understand, comprehend, gain some understanding, educate yourself, go on Google, go on YouTube. You have a page on YouTube they call Psych2. They just make little YouTube
Wow.
videos explaining certain behaviors and whatever. It's not an area to diagnose yourself. They don't diagnose people, but you can gain a better understanding into certain behaviors. Do some research, and I would
Hmm.
very much recommend that page, Psych2.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, guys. We just open up the platform now in the comment section. If you want to just and send any words of encouragement to her, anything you can just do it. So um for the next Cado, I'm gonna give you guys 2 minutes, or I can run for 2 minutes. I come back, but you guys can take control of the live. But I dash in for 2 minutes.
I can't take control of your life. Hey, yo, your story was powerful, man.
Yes, yes, yes.
I wish we had many more people like you who was brave enough to come out and talk. But I
Yeah.
want you to keep strong, though. Don't give up.
Thank you.
And the part where you talk about suicide, yo, that's a very touchy subject,
Yes, it is.
because been there, did that, you
Yeah.
know. And so you see, so like for me, what I did was like try and find different avenues to be an outlet for my
Yes, yes.
and you also said the part about not having your child bring you stuff in jail or whatever. All them things there. So it's like I'm listening to your story and I'm like, what the hell? It's like you're saying certain things that in my mind to say all the time. Like I wouldn't want my child to see me do that.
People for that, yes.
And we just, like you said, we need to check up on one another, check on our people and them,
Yes.
make sure that you never know what somebody going through, man.
Never.
You
That is
never
so
know.
that is so
And
true. Sometimes you see them all jovial and happy, and you don't know they have a world of pain hiding behind that
going
happiness.
on there, it
Yeah.
is it's a tough road in this life, So today I was saying, I wish I could just go back and be a damn child. I don't have no bills to worry about, no nothing to think about.
Yes.
Just be carefree, man, and just live, man.
Yes.
But we're not privileged to be able to go back in time, so we have to take it how
I
it comes.
know. Definitely. Definitely.
What are you saying,
Once
Fido?
again. But I just, I'm amazed, yeah, I understand what I was doing, but I don't know if it's that deep, I don't know if it's that deep.
Yes.
No, bro. I guess this right here can be our first episode because trust and believe you me, man. This
That's a great way to
this,
start it off.
this abuse thing, and I am not trying to play light of it. It is very present in our community,
Yeah.
and it's something that we need to keep in the forefront of our people in our community. Our community leaders need to do a little bit more when it comes to such things
Yeah.
because trust me, it is very present. And
That's very
if we neglect it, we're gonna lose our children because
yes.
the innocence is gonna be gone. The anger that she was talking about, where she was violent, and that's all we're gonna get
Yeah.
because why they're looking for a way to defend and protect themselves. They're lashing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we don't have people for them to become outlets to them, somebody that they can feel comfortable to come and talk to, we're
Yeah.
gonna lose. We're gonna lose our children.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have a comment
Like to have
from,
proper outlets.
Mm-hmm.
They have a proper outlet. So, and a lot of the times, I realize a lot of us grow up in homes where our parents didn't used to sit down and talk to us and say, you know what, when you get vexed, instead of doing that, do that. A lot of them
Mm.
were very reactive towards us. So if we break something, they're yelling. So you now learn that when something irritates you, something pisses you off, is start to make noise.
yeah, yeah.
And that is how I was kind of checking. Like my parents were fighters as well. They fought, or they were even physical with each other a lot, like physical fighting with each other a lot. So in my mind, that is how you solve problems.
No problems there.
Yes. So it's the influence. The influence does be there as well. So it's just what you know is what you're going to roll with.
Yeah. I have a comment there I wanted to read it out to you. It says, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you and give you continued peace. God's blessing on you, Amber.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I really
man. Yeah,
appreciate it.
man. I
I
appreciate
like
that, man.
your story. Your story got me confused over here, yo. Make me want to go bust guns and things. I want to buy guns
But boy, I
tonight.
tell you, but
Yeah, for
but
real. It was like life is up. Tough
Yeah.
place. Can't do it.
Well, I
mm-hmm.
get free to here. I still alive.
He's still alive.
Yeah, because I'm not the same person I used to be. Trust me.
Wow.
Your
I
daughter
used
wake up
to be
again.
a different person mentally, and I still growing. I can say 2 years ago I know the Amber I used to be 2 years ago.
That's good.
But like it's a constant change. It's a constant change, and I just
Mm-hmm.
hit different points in my life where I go through certain things that I have to delve back into my past to be able to deal with it and check, like, you know what, that is how I'd react to it in that time. What I understand about that situation, what I was supposed to learn from before that I can utilize in this situation now. So it's
Mm-hmm.
still constantly learning. I still constantly learning. And being a mother, it always have something new to learn. Trust me. My daughter is like I wouldn't say she is. I was very tight with her, and again, when in her young life, her first 3 years of life, she was very sick, so she always had to be under my wing. I always had to have her with me. And I remember when she first started getting better, it's like before she run, I getting scared. It's like I didn't want her going outside. I didn't want her doing nothing because I
No.
just didn't want her to get hurt. And then my mom sit down and talk to me and say, Amber, she's doing better now. When time comes for her to go to school, she's going to be socially awkward. You have to give her a chance to breathe, let her play. Trust her to go outside. Not everyone around you is going to hurt your daughter. And my mother just tell me, Amber, you know the people you have around you are very safe people. I look at the community you build around her, and they more willing to murder somebody for her, excuse my language, than they allow some stupidness to happen because they themselves, especially the men, they are fathers to daughters themselves, so
Yeah.
they
Mm-hmm.
understand. So she
Mm-hmm.
talked to me real and she said, Amber, let her be a child, but don't allow your abuse to make you so paranoid that you
Eric.
stop have in her life, because what will happen is she will run to a lot of negative things because you're keeping her tied under you. She'll run to a lot of negative things. It's like she'll become very stressed. She'll think like you smother in her, and when you look, you'll feel like your child self don't love you because you're not allowing her to live.
To live, yeah.
And I just had to, when she started going preschool, it was very hard for me because it's like I had to leave her somewhere else with other people for 5 hours. But then what I started doing, instead of just allowing my emotions to take over me, I started asking her. I started talking to her because I wish sometimes my mother would just come and ask me randomly, "You okay? How are you feeling?" And then I would have had the opportunity to just tell her everything. So I started doing it. If I ask her, "How was your day at school? How was it?" And she'd just tell me. And then I realized it's like she doesn't get bullied at school. It's like she completely different from me. Like her experience as a child, completely different to the point where a lot of things I was very much or like aware of as a child, she's completely unaware.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even if certain languages like vulgar music will play and she will not understand, because number one, I doesn't play vulgar music around her. She wouldn't understand a lot of things because I try to shield her, because if I find as an adult you're very loose with your language or you're very loose with the way you does act, I wouldn't really want to leave her around you unless I know for sure you know how to keep it a certain way when she's there, and when she's not there, then you can check your
Do
scene.
your business, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like I had to just loosen up. I still have an eye on her. I still making sure I protect her. Imagine it was so hard when she started taking the bus on her own last year. Last year,
Wow.
because I always wanted to make sure I saw her. And imagine it had a day she told me she was passing, and some older men was calling at her. She come and she tell me one time. I say for true, and I was so happy kind of checking like. So I say you comfortable telling me a lot of things. She say yes, I can talk to you. I can talk to you, and it's like I checking like. It's like I love seeing her like that, but it's I had to cool down. I had to allow her to be a child, allow her to have friends. And I realized that a lot of people actually love her too. They love her personality. I talk to her teachers. They checking like she's so different from a lot of children they've seen. It's like they're checking like her innocent. She's very innocent. It's like she unaware of a lot of things that has happened. And I checking like, oh, well, maybe I'm not doing that much of a bad job. Because she have her innocence, and I proud to say that my daughter 9 years and she never go through nothing I went through. I proud to say that. Yes, it's not like he didn't have it hardships. Her being sick when she was young, that was a very hard time. But she overcome it, and she doing great right now.
Okay.
Wow.
I am
Good
glad
to
that
know.
your past experience didn't affect her
Yeah,
in a
Yeah.
bad sense. It was able to help shield her from
yeah,
all of the negativity because you're using your experience to help mold her in
mm,
life. So
yes,
that's a good thing.
yes.
Yeah, just to read quickly.
I have to get off in
You
like
have to
a
get off.
minutes. Yeah, the baby is
3 minutes, 2 minutes, 15
yeah,
minutes.
yeah,
All right, well, we're just wrapping up the comments and we're gonna close it down. Okay, so then
yeah.
somebody says, thanks for having a good and positive topic tonight. This young lady is very brave, and I appreciate her for that. Too many of these things happening in those small world countries. Wow.
True, very
We
true.
have we have this comment as well. Keep in mind that everybody you can talk to. Some people only want to know just to throw it back in
Yes,
your face, which is very, very true.
that's very true.
And just I think he came in a little bit late. Shem came in a little bit late, but I ain't hearing about the father. So
Or the child's father. That's another topic, Shem, that we can't
another
really touch
topic,
on
eh?
right now.
Because right now they're going through they're going through some sad times right now.
Yeah,
But
it's
we
like
will
I
I
can't
said like,
talk about it right now. It's a lot.
Yeah.
yeah,
Coping
yeah,
with it, man. It's a lot. So
yeah. They're coping with
I
the,
can
the reality right now.
tell me to talk about it, but I say it too early. He not even buried yet, so it's a bit
Exactly. So
early for that for me.
it's a
Yeah.
bit too early, but we will touch again. We'll have to make it
Yeah.
another make a part two to this thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
man.
Again, we give you a plug in and then we're gonna close it down because yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I have to go now, guys. Baby girl getting kind of loud. So
Hmm.
thank you guys for taking the time to listen to me. I really appreciate it. I do hope you take a lot from what I said, because I do want to put my story out there. I'm actually writing about it. I write in a book. a couple actually. It's going to be a series. I kind of stuck right now because I dealing with the baby and thing, but I will start back very soon. And I would really love, I really love to get you guys support on that topic. We can have more discussions. Probably something can come out of it where I can get a group of people. We can start something, some foundation, something to at least provide the help. Because all you look at our children today, please, they're going through something. We need to do something because a lot of us, we doing the work, but there is also an equal percentage of us that is not doing the work. So we have to be able to stand up with each other. I'm going to say good night right there. Don't forget to check me out with the nails and the lashes, guys. Ambi's Nails on Instagram and Facebook, and Ambi's Closet on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you again for listening, and do have a good night.
Before you go though, there's a
Uh,
foundation. There's a foundation that I am part of. It's called Hope Foundation in Dominica.
I've heard about
And
it.
oh, you heard about it?
Yes.
All right, cool. So we do little things, try to help our community as best as we can. So we haven't touched on this specific topic, but it's something that we'll probably look into now that we having this story come out here.
Yes.
So if you get a call from one of the group members,
I,
we want
that's out of that. Yes.
trust trust me. I appreciate your story. Go and take care of your baby. But
Yeah.
but but my son name Fido. Just cut off the live and you can stay on the thing, and get your daughter, for 5 minutes. Why should I get daughter? Just cut the live.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So we're gonna close that there. Yeah, cool. I'm just bring you backstage. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining tonight.
Breaking up.
Breaking up,
Taking off.
breaking up bad.
Yeah, go ahead now.
Well, that's it. Well, that's it, guys. We later. So I'm your host, Fidrick Benjamin, and we tackle the powerful journey of resilience, healing, and transformation. As you know, we're gonna go deeper and deeper into this thing. Hopefully I can tackle more serious topics, more sensitive topics. I don't want to put a muzzle on this thing. Again, thank you guys for your support, and we out.
Yeah, man. Tune in to Fido and Cardos when you get the chance. Don't know how the scene set already.